Hello and welcome to all our guests, members of FAI UK and members of Friends of FAI in the US, and everyone who's watching us in live streaming on Facebook. My name is Alessandra Varisco, International Fundraising and Development Manager at FAI Fondo Ambiente Italiano, the National Trust for Italy, a non-profit organization which takes care of the invaluable heritage of Italy. There have been villas, castles, gardens, but also our landscape that is so distinctive and that is appreciated by so many people around the world. FAI is about 45 years old, was founded following the example of the British National Trust to take care of special places for the benefit of present and future generations, promote education and love for Italian heritage, monitor the protection of landscape and natural assets. The foundation acquires sites by donation or bequest, but also manages properties that are given on concession by the state for us to restore and open to the public. In total, today, we take care of 66 properties, but we also organize national events to raise public's awareness about the importance of our cultural heritage. The incredible job that our foundation carries out is possible thanks to the help of over 200,000 members and 500 companies that each year join and donate for our projects. And it is no secret that many restorations are also possible thanks to people abroad who care about Italian heritage. That is so important to us that it is even more so in this very difficult year. Because of the pandemic, our properties were closed for several months and our events had fewer participants because of public restrictions. But we're facing an economic loss without precedent. So I would like to thank the many donors that I know are connected today and who have given generously. I invite you all to join and donate so that FAI can continue its work. Any help you may give does make a difference. Now a few technical recommendations. Every event should last about 40-45 minutes. There is a Q&A button that you can use. We might not have the time to answer all your questions today, but be sure we will do so tomorrow or in the next few days. So this is the first event of what we call our Grand Tour series, which involves our staff of architects, researchers, property managers, and gives us the opportunity to feel closer and overcome the distance imposed by this pandemic. It is a program of 6 webinars that will lead you to the discovery of many FAI properties so that you can enjoy our beautiful treasures without traveling, learn about FAI, and prepare for your next visit to Italy as soon as that is possible. But before starting with our topic today, I want to pass the camera on to Mr. William Parente, Chairman of FAI UK.
Hello, everybody. I hope you can see me. Thank you very much, Alessandra. For those of you who don't know, I have the honor to be the president of FAI in the UK, and it's a great pleasure to be able to welcome you to this initiative, which the FAI team have so brilliantly organized. I very much hope you enjoy your virtual visit to Villa Balbianello and the Lake Villas of Northern Italy. As Alessandra has explained, FAI is a remarkable organization, the custodian of some of Europe's greatest treasures, and it enjoys extraordinary support from the Italian people. Today's experience, which I hope will be an excellent experience, it's just a taste of the real thing. And of course, what we're really looking forward to is being able to welcome you and all our supporters to Italy in 2021. So I hope you enjoy the tour, and now I'll hand back to Alessandra.
Thank you, Mr. Parente, for your words and enthusiasm for FAI's work. So here we go with the Grand Tour visits to FAI properties from the comfort of your sofa. And here's our theme song. So let's start our grand tour of FAI properties with the real star, Villa del Balbianello, situated on the west coast of Lake Como. It is one of the most beautiful villas of the lake. It's no secret. Let's see right away some images of this magnificent villa. Accessible only by boat, its beautiful garden has been the setting of several movies, and people just love getting married here. Imagine that we already have reservations for 110 marriages next year. And together with Villa Necchi Campiglio, which we will see during another event, it is the most visited FAI property by foreigners. Last year, around 70% of its visitors were foreigners, in fact. Its position and its gardens make it one of the most spectacular estates in the area, and the loggia offers the visitors a panoramic view of the lake on both sides. This elegant, romantic 18th century mansion and its magnificent garden were bequeathed to FAI by Guido Monzino to be sure that it would stay forever as it is. But who was Guido Monzino? He was a famous explorer, the first Italian to climb Mount Everest. He was also an entrepreneur, a collector, and a passionate traveler. In accordance to his wishes, FAI has been managing the villa since 1988, preserving what we call the spirit of the place. And now I have the pleasure of introducing my colleague and friend Lucia Borromeo, our finest researcher, who has worked on the history of this villa for several years and who's the author of its guidebook. Lucia, are you connected?
Yes, I am. Do you hear me?
Welcome.
Do you see me also?
I do not see you.
No, so neither I. Here.
Here you are. Here you are. Welcome. Hello.
Hello.
Lucia.
Hello, everybody. Sorry for this delay. Here we are.
My first question. I will ask you some questions. My first question to you, Lucia, is who thought of building such a breathtaking villa with such a fantastic view?
Oh, well, it was a man of church, Cardinal Dorini, who, strangely enough, had another beautiful villa just 2 minutes away from Balbianello, and it was called Balbiano. And this is why he wanted a new spot on the lake where to enjoy a double view on the lake. And so he had this new loggia built for him and for his little group of friends, a sort of a cultural club he had. And he had this spot on the lake where an ancient convent was. And he had this loggia added so that he could go there with his friends and talk about literature, history, culture, enjoy the view and sip coffee all together. We can say it was a coffee loggia.
So, did the villa always stay in the Durini family?
Oh, actually, no. This all happened at the end of the 18th century. And when the cardinal died in those years, the villa passed by several owners until it arrived into the Arconati Visconti family. And we can still see their mark on the villa because on the top of the loggia, they wanted their coat of arms to be inscribed, to be built. And so they lived in the villa in the 19th century. Here is the Marquise Arconati Visconti, and she set the house inside with the furniture that was fashionable at that time in the 19th century. Later on, she left she abandoned Italy, and the villa was abandoned. And so at the beginning of the 20th century, the villa looked more or less like this, and a new character came out. He was an American general who came to the lake for vacation and fell in love with Barbianello. So for 20 years, can you imagine, it took 20 years to him to get this villa from the Marquise, because World War I just didn't let him buy it during those years, but at last in 1922 the Ames family could get their new villa, and this is what the rooms looked like during their stay. They stayed in the villa until 1954 when the general died. They certainly had a very good time there, and among their guests we can mention Mary Pickford, who was the partner of Charlie Chaplin in a movie company, the United Artists. They founded it together. And also, to come to a more recent time, the name of Jacqueline Kennedy.
So, but the villa, in fact, was bequeathed to FAI by Count Guido Monzino, as I said, an explorer. Now, I know you have many pictures of him during his expeditions, his famous expeditions.
Oh, yes, sure.
Can you show us some of them?
Yes, he left a wonderful archives. Here he is with his beloved mountains, and in one of his excursions, one of them, he was a man of finance. He was a man. He was a chief of industry, but his true love and passion was geographical expedition. He organized 21 very important expeditions all over the world, and thanks to him, the Italian flag was brought for the first time in history to the North Pole in 1971. This is the little museum he created by himself inside Villa Balbianello, and with all the memories of his excursions. And at the very center, you can see the famous ledge with which he reached the North Pole in 1971. This was the whole group of people. It was a huge enterprise. It took 25 sledges dragged by 300 sledge dogs, and there were 25 Inuit guides, and certainly the climate was not a very easy one, as you can see from this picture, and the equipment was also quite primitive, looked from our days. It still with the traditional fur coats. It was not technical as it would be now. And in the museum, you can also see more than 300 little sculptures made by the Inuit people and donated to Monzino as a present.
And so beyond these 300 statues, are there other objects that you cataloged in the villa?
Oh yes, it took more than 1 year cataloging more than 2,000 objects. There was, among all the others, I just point out the collection of prints with the landscape of the Como Lake, and there is also an important collection of ethnic art with African little sculptures and also Mesoamerican pieces, Mayan pieces. And this one in particular, it's an interesting scene. You can see an old man embracing a young lady, a younger woman, and with his left hand, he's raising her little skirt. So maybe it's a habit that it is timeless, as we can see still nowadays, this kind of passion. And going on, we can see Monzino's personal bedroom with the French furniture, as this one, but there is also a good number of English beautiful furniture. And carpets. Carpets are very selected, high quality carpets, mostly coming from India or from Persia and China. And this is his bathroom in a sort of neo-Pompeian style. And the dining room with, of course, the silverware and important French tapestries. And there are two great salons, and both are paneled with the paneling coming from French 18th century castles. And in these rooms, you can see the collection of Chinese sculptures dating back to the Tang period. Here are 4 lady musicians maintenance, but there are also two more sportive ladies riding horses and playing polo. So we can really say that Monzino has left his own signature after the Arconati Visconti. He wanted his coat of arms to be inserted on the entrance of the villa, which can still be seen today.
So I have a few more questions. Guido Monzino, we know, kept his villa and the garden in an absolutely perfect state. And his wish when he left this villa to FAI was that it would be like this forever. So to give our guests an idea of the cost of pure ordinary maintenance amounts to over 300,000 euros per year. But in practical terms, Lucia, can you help me describe what that means? What kind of maintenance are we talking about?
Yes, the work is never finished. Every day there's something new to do or something regular to keep doing. Just to have an idea of the dimension, this is the plan of the gardens with the buildings. There are 3 buildings, and maintenance is kept every day. Just the pruning of the plants is very exacting and demanding. And for example, this wonderful enormous tree has to maintain this umbrella shape following Monzino's directions. And so we have 2 acrobatic gardeners. They are free climbers who are in charge of the pruning of this particular tree. But also the snow can bring damages, can make some damages. So we have, for example, we had to restore the statues and the balustrade of the balcony, but also in their collection, the little sculptures, the textiles, the carpets, and of course also the tapestries.
So I mentioned earlier that some movies were shot here. Which ones were they? And do you have any anecdotes or any picture of these movies?
Oh, it was an amusing time when we had these movies. There was the shooting of Casino Royale, and also Star Wars, because George Lucas came to the lake and really liked this villa and wanted the episode 2, the attack of the clones, to be partially shot here. Here we have an image of the 2 main characters who will get married at Balbianello, according to the story. And again, a romantic view of the 2 of them at the balcony, and a more robotic scene always by the balcony. And there was also an English movie by John Irving was shot here. The name is A Month by the Lake. And for Star Wars, actually the graphic way that the villa was represented was quite different. This is how the villa looks in the movie. And strangely enough, they rented, for the movie, they rented this room, which has a spectacular view on the lake, but they completely covered it so that you don't even see that there are windows, and they transformed it into a bedroom with a fake fireplace. And so you really don't understand that you actually are at Balbianello and on the lake. But I think this is cinema, and this is why we like it. And this is also a movie which was shot at Balbianello, but this is another story.
Yes, well, this photo is an introduction actually to our next villa, because from a jet set lake like Lake Como, we travel now on our sofa to a totally different one. A quiet and remote corner between Italy and Switzerland, Lake Lugano, where we visit Villa Fogazzaro Roy. And here's our short video. So facing out over the Italian shore of Lake Lugano, Villa Fogazzaro Roy conserves the books and mementos of the novelist Antonio Fogazzaro. It was here that he both wrote and set his masterpiece Piccolo Mondo Antico, translated into English as The Little World of the Past. This house was reimagined by the author as a place of the soul and represented a quiet, secluded refuge in which to spend the summer with friends, fishing and sailing around the lake. So let's ask Lucia some questions about this villa. Let's go back to the picture you left us with. And was that Villa Balbianello or Villa Fogazzaro?
Here we are. So this is the private dock of Villa Balbianello, but the scene is taken from the movie Little World of the Past. So the rest of the film is shot at Villa Fogazzaro. And to understand how these two lakes are set close to each other, let's have a look at the map of Italy. And you can see that in the northern part, there are the two lakes. This is the Como Lake and Lugano one. So here they are in more detailed image, and the red spot is Villa del Balbianello, the one we have just seen on Como Lake, and now we are going to see Villa Fogazzaro just nearby on the Italian part of the Swiss Lugano Lake.
So tell us, Lucia, why is this villa so well known?
It's strange because it's not a monumental site as we have seen at Balbianello. It's just a private house. But first of all, it is set in a wonderful landscape which has remained exactly the same as it was more than 100 years ago. This is an historical picture and it's exactly the same as what you can see today. So just breathing this timeless place, it's something special. And then it's the house itself, because it was the house of one of Italian greatest writers, Antonio Fogazzaro. Everybody has studied Fogazzaro at school. Everybody had to read The Little World of the Past, and which is a nice story. It's still readable nowadays. It's about a marriage between a noble and a poor girl, and with the background of the Italian battles for independence. So there are many important themes, and it's a nice lecture. So many people come to see where Fogazzaro lived, but also where the two characters lived, because the sitting room, for example, that you can see today is very similar to the sitting room that could have been lived by the two characters, as we can see in this scene taken from the movie, which was shot in 1941. And many things of Fogazzaro still are on the spot, still are preserved there. For example, his own study, the room, with all his pictures and books and memories, but especially with his writing desk, which is a very special item, because Fogazzaro used to write his impression, his feelings, not on a notebook, but on the drawer. And we still had the original drawer where he inserted all his feeling and notes. And one of the most moving is the one that you can see in the center with the name Mariano, because Mariano was his only male son who tragically died at the age of 20. So it was a terrible moment that Fogazzaro had to undergo, and it is recorded on this special drawer. And the two of them had a very special relationship, of course. And we can see the two of them looking at the lake on the little terrace of the house. And everything has been maintained as it was in this picture. For example, if you have a look at the central table, and you next time you go to Villa Fogazzaro, you will see exactly the same table. So it really, you feel like moving and breathing inside a literature house.
So was it someone from the Fogazzaro family who donated this villa to FAI?
Yes, exactly. The villa remained in the Fogazzaro family forever until FAI arrived. And the donor is Marquise Giuseppe Roi. He was born in Vicenza, like in the Veneto region, like Fogazzaro. And he was the grandson of Fogazzaro's daughter, Gina. So the whole family is recomposed somehow in this villa.
Did Marquis Roy make some changes or make any additions to the villa? Was he a collector, or was he, what was he passionate about?
Well, there are two aspects. On the one hand, he tried to maintain as much as possible of Fogazzaro's memories. So the original books of the writers are still in the villa, and many other memories and personal objects. And on, for example, the patriotic Italian lire that we printed during our revolution period in 1848. And then there are some important rooms, such as the Napoleon room, where Roy inserted this, his collection of Napoleonic prints. And he also was a very competent collector of china. There are beautiful porcelain, mostly coming from Venice or the Veneto region, or from Florence, from Doccia in Florence. And you can find china in almost every room. But he also had a passion for special, extravagant objects. For example, in this gallery, you can see a small group of coconuts, which were carved in the South America or Central America, and which were meant to contain gunpowder. And so this was the kind of things that attracted his attention. For example, samples, samplers were this exercise that young lady had to do to train the way of embroidering, of making laces. And also he furnished part of the house with modern taste, modern dating back to 1960s, when he was very active in the house. This is one of the bathroom he settled. And of course, also we can see also the dining room with the table and all the dishes.
So this table, gosh, this is so elegantly set. Is it so in every FAI property?
No. This is exactly the table set as Marquis Roy wanted. He was very precise, and this is what the room would have liked without his passage. And in his will, where he mentioned the donation to FAI, he also wrote pages about how to set the table, mentioning 2 spoons, 2 forks, 2 knives, 4 glasses. So when we set the table, we take a meter and we measure the distance between the center of one dish to the other. So he was very meticulous, and also he really gave instruction of how to prepare to create a plaque, an inscription that has to be put outside of the house to remember Antonio Fogazzaro and his donation. And he was so fussy that he also decided what kind of lettering we had to use. And I must say that FAI is very good at obeying these desires of the donors, and we really realized the perfect plaque he would have liked us to make with the right lettering, and it still can be seen by all visitors. So whenever you will come, we'll have the occasion of coming to visit the house. You will see the house, Fogazzaro's house, and Marquis Roy passage, this lake, and enjoy the beautiful view of the lake. So I really hope you will have the chance of seeing it, and hope I will see you soon. I will see you soon here. And thank you for all the listening, and thank you to all participants, and thank you, Alessandra.
Well, thank you, Lucia, for these guided tours in two amazing villas on the lakes of northern Italy. We will have the pleasure of having Lucia's company also in another event dedicated to art collections on November 17. Now I would like to ask Amanda Kuttner, Executive Director of Friends of FAI in New York, to also add a few words. Amanda?
Thanks, Alessandra. Good afternoon, everyone. I just want to thank you all for joining us on our first virtual visit. It's so lovely to be able to engage with you all and share our love for Italy, even if it's not possible for many of us to go there right now. For those of you who are members, thank you. Your support and friendship are so appreciated, and we're so grateful to have such wonderful and enthusiastic supporters. This has been a difficult year for everyone all over the world, and organizations like FAI and Friends of FAI are no exception. And it's thanks to your continued support that we're able to persevere and continue the work that we're doing for Italy. And for those of you who aren't members, join us. If you're in the USA, gifts to Friends of FAI are tax deductible. We encourage you to get involved, and when circumstances permit, hopefully soon, to experience these properties in person. In the meantime, I hope to see you guys at our next virtual visit, and thanks again for tuning in.
Well, thank you, Amanda. So I see that we have a few more minutes. I've seen many questions coming up. Maybe I can answer a couple. And one is, in part, Amanda has answered, but I want to give a more comprehensive answer. How can one help FAI from abroad? So you can help by joining FAI UK if you are in the UK, joining Friends of FAI if you are in the US, joining our community, donating for specific projects. Do help us save beautiful treasures for everyone to enjoy today and for many years to come. As Amanda said, donations to Friends of FAI, but also to FAI UK are tax deductible, and you can learn more on faiuk.org and friendsofFAI.org. You also can help by visiting our properties as soon as that is possible, hiring a venue for your special event, that being corporate or private. You can learn more about FAI properties on fondoambiente.it/visitFAI. And you can also learn about the many events that we organize in our properties so that we can have the public come in and enjoy these special places. They are not closed museums. They are properties open for everybody to enjoy. And there's other questions that I want to answer is, are properties open now? Yes, they are. They have been closed for a few months in the spring, for 3 months, but they're now open since the end of May. And it is important to reserve your visit online so that we can help us respect the social distancing measures. And that's for everybody's safety, for visitor safety, but also for our personnel. So now we've come to the end of our event. There are more questions which we will answer directly. Leave us your email, write to us, international@fondoambiente.it or info@faiuk.org or info@friendsofFAI.org. We are looking forward to seeing you on our next visit entitled Landscape Properties, Nature and Landscape in 50 Shades of Green with property manager Giorgia Montesano from Parco Villa Gregoriana in Tivoli, near Rome. We will also visit some other natural sites that have attracted so many visitors in this particular year. We will discover what type of events that were organized in these properties to welcome visitors who were looking for opportunities to be in the open air, yet enjoy our cultural heritage. I want to thank you all for attending and staying with us. Depending on where you are, I wish you all a good afternoon or a good evening. Goodbye.